So, what's going on, Nova?
Hi, Nova.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Peters, how you doing?
Good,
Mr.
good.
Mayor?
What's so funny?
Seeing you
I
here.
have something for you.
Oh, business card?
No, it's better.
Oh,
My V card. Welcome to the club, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, you're part of an exclusive club now. Congratulations.
what?
Yeah, look at the back. Read it. I gave Nova my V card yesterday or the day before.
Yeah,
I
she did.
don't think that's how it works, but okay. But it says, according to this card certifies that the holder, has at least one V in their name. Oh, okay. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right.
And I
Yeah.
made an exception for Nova because her
Yeah.
W does not have a V in it, but,
Oh, yep.
you know,
Yep.
Yeah, nickname.
All right.
exactly.
All right.
All right. Well, how can we help you today, Mr. Chavez?
Well, I was going
What's
to ask
going
you out on a date, and then someone else gave me the V card, so now it's a little awkward.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fortunate. Yeah.
My bad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm glad to see you got out of the meeting that you organized unscathed. I was worried.
I don't think the majority of the city would let me get hurt. So,
I understand politics. You've got to speak to everybody in the city, and that's
well,
completely
I mean,
respectable,
it
right?
comes down to this, right? So if you felt any kind of way, not intentional, but there's like decorum, right? And it's like, just like I'm not going to barge into one of your meetings, right? I'm not saying that you did. I mean, I'll let Daisy know this pretty straightforward.
Oh, I was invited
No, the meeting
by
started.
Daisy.
I know. But it wasn't her meeting.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like,
So I know. I didn't want you to feel any kind of way because just as everyone else asked for others to come, it was the same thing, right? Like tensions have been very high with the Southside and pretty much the rest of the city. And last thing I want is them to feel a certain way because they're not. How do I put this? You showing up without them knowing in advance, gonna turn very bad really quick. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, Peters, did you say what happened to you?
Yeah.
What?
I was there.
Oh, no. Peters picked me up from the marshal's office, and then within seconds he was surrounded and shot in the face.
Oh,
Again?
No, well, no.
This is outside of.
This was all. I got chewed out for this. He didn't know all the context for it.
This was outside of the repair shop, right?
No, that was Den. I got I literally just picked up the Marshal. I just picked up Nova, didn't do anything. Like fucking 5 cars circled me and they're like, get out of the south side. I was like, what's going on? Do you want to talk about this? They're like, no, leave the south side. I was like, well, can we figure out what's going on?
Jesus.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's my time.
Yeah.
My turn. And then they're like, what? I was like, what do you guys want? They're like, get out of the south side. And I went, for what? And then they just all shot me.
Yeah.
What?
And to answer your question, I didn't do anything. Both me and Stevie got out the car and attempted to shoot them, but they drive supercars, so they were gone within seconds. It's not really much you can do when somebody does that.
Was there actually a tank out in the south side, or was that memes on Twitter earlier?
No.
Okay.
There has been no deployment of any vehicles. A state of
All right.
emergency has to be declared before that.
Yeah. Well.
Angel's been appraised of the situation, but there's been no. The PD have been able to handle it. There's no reason for that kind of escalation.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I think things are in a much better place at this point. I think that's why we've last 2 days have been pretty relaxed. It's
Oh, I mean, we haven't. I haven't necessarily had problems with people. I don't think any of the other marshals have. I think it's literally just been PD and BCSO that have been ushered out of the south side.
Yeah.
I mean, the only incident I had was when Peters got shot.
they
They.
Oh shit! They don't know.
I understand. I've had a conversation with St. Clair in the cells yesterday. He appeared to explain why things were going this way, and I just explained it how it was. That you can you can have reasonable expectations of an officer not being able to go in the south side on his own and chat shit and not expect anything.
Yeah.
But general police work, if they were, you do know that they blocked off entire streets and roads with tow trucks.
Very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's continued actions like that that get to a point where eventually, if the PD struggle to handle with it, then you could look at Angel declaring a state of emergency if it got to that point. So I just tried to convey that escalating it wasn't in anybody's interest, and that if they had valid complaints, to flow it through the chain of command, and if it's something that the PD haven't dealt with, come to the marshals and we'll deal with it.
Who the fuck?
No idea. Probably a moonshiner.
Yep, you're right.
But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well. All right. Well. Oh my God. How long have you been a part of the marshals, then, Nova?
3-4 weeks now.
Yeah, I got you.
3 or 4 weeks, give or take.
How you liking it?
It's a different style of policing. It's not as hands-on. It's relaxing. Do the work that I need to do in assistant, right? It's a different landscape from what the city used to be. It's nowhere near as the same.
No, it's
everything now is very, very, how to explain it, turf heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot more violent. Yeah. Turf's in the south side, turf on the east, on the west, Center Street, down off Davis Avenue. It's fucking wild. It's I think a lot of people just want to shoot nowadays instead of talk.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But in my general observations of the city as it is so far, petty crime, like I would consider a sale of marijuana, a little baggie, a really small crime. It's not really the hugest thing in the world. The issue that I see is that these clumps of people that do it on their turfs number in the excess of 8 to 12 people. And when you have that environment, the response you're going to get from PD, unfortunately, is going to be 8 to 10 cars. How else can you respond to it, right? You can't have one unit going there, 2 units.
Yeah.
And I understand why people get more aggressive when you got more people involved. There's going to be more chance.
So
of aggression.
having spoken to them, they're well, I don't want to deep dive into too much. I mean, that's something that Daisy can share. I don't want to speak on behalf of her, but I think the problem is a little bit more complicated. It's
okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
always complications, and it's just about how you get around those complications.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been enjoying it. There's no complaints from me. The marshal's office has been perfect for me.
Are the marshals like sort of are they kind of like can they take over investigations?
We can have oversight on investigations, yeah.
Like so,
we wouldn't necessarily take over a PD investigation. We're mainly there to assist and oversight, right?
I don't know. It's like the definitions changed like with every edit, so it's
Well, I mean that's something that you can speak to the director about, right?
Yeah. Well,
but we can.
Keyword is the first word you use.
Well, we can, right? But it's what we choose to do. I think we've been pretty well reserved in terms of dick swinging. I mean, I think LSPD and BCO have done their fair share of dick swinging at each other recently. I think we stay clear well away of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's within their purview, right? Is that something that the marshals have to resolve? Like, is that something they can't resolve themselves?
They do resolve it themselves. We haven't really stepped in.
Yeah.
Peters, you'd be best to speak on this, right?
The marshal stepping in?
Inside of your, squabbles between departments?
Do we need the marshals to step in?
No, have we stepped in your department?
No, it just seems like outside you. The honest to God truth is, it just seems like the marshals come down and kind of have us under a microscope, and then BCSO is like not. I don't know. maybe I just don't know.
I mean, like, take for example, right? Daisy, what's her like role now?
She's second in command. She's field director.
So this bozo came down and said it's illegal to look at public information. This is
I mean,
this is your
she
number
came
2.
down. Her and the other marshal said it, but then said that I violated somebody's rights by reading that. I was like, no, I didn't. It was literally a document that entered the public domain. Even per the legislation, the phone had been sold at an auction. So if you wanted to follow it, and she was referencing the search and seizure legislation, which she was trying to go by letter of the law, which it still fit, but it's still, you have to also interpret it under spirit of the law, and spirit of the law is it's for search and seizure. So she had no idea what the fuck she was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he sounds like if you have it works the same way, right? If you have a legitimate concern or complaint, you can either field it to me and I'll give it to Angel. I mean, marshals can get investigated the same way as.
Well, Angel doesn't like me.
Yeah. I mean, well, you said earlier, like, you don't do like the overseeing thing, but I'm just giving an example of like a marshal coming in and being like, you will get fired if you do this. And it's like, who the fuck are you? Right?
Right, which per the legislation, they can't come in and fucking fire anyone.
Right.
Have you thought about like moving up in the ranks?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Why would I need to move up in the ranks?
What if the city needed you to? You ever get that feeling of like?
And so my counterpoint would be, what in any way would me moving up the ranks help the city in its current state?
Well, I mean, it depends. It's like, let's say for example, like, who's a cop in the, like, who's in LSPD? Like Maxwell, right? Like, let's say Peters turns out is just like absolutely a corrupt piece of shit. Like, you could imagine someone like Maxwell being like, look, for the betterment of the LSPD, I may need to step up as the S chief. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but my point would still be, right?
Yeah.
Like, leadership positions are exactly that, right? Now, whether Tyler, I've been on scenes with Tyler, and he is a leader when he wants to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do I agree with every decision he's ever made? No, but he's a leader. Am I a leader? I wouldn't call myself a leader. I'm a go-getter. Right? That's why I don't feel like me being in the ranks, and the type of policing that I used to do definitely wouldn't fit in this environment.
Let me ask you something. Do you think I'm Changing?
What?
Tell that bitch that I'm Changing. What decisions do you disagree with that I've made?
Do you think I'm a criminal, Nova?
Do you think he's a criminal?
I think you're a criminal.
And also, what decisions do you disagree with?
Why was the first phone call to Peters not about his current health? Did you ask him how he was?
I asked him how he was this morning.
Yeah.
I asked him how he was the day before, and I said, "Are you gonna pick me up and go for some coffee?" Which he replied, "I am going for coffee, and then I'll pick you up afterwards." Which then he never came around. Did you, Peters?
Oh, yesterday? No, I was like, fuck this. I'm going off duty. I'm not feeling work today. I've been on duty, and even I was on duty yesterday. But since I've been hired as the ass chief, I haven't taken a day off.
Do you think I'm subhuman?
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think Nino's subhuman? Do you think I'm subhuman trash?
Of course not.
Listen, Nino, you asked for my opinion of you. I would give you one word, which you probably knew was coming in. I call you political.
I'm the mayor.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I said.
Yeah.
There's
I
nothing
have to
illegal
play
about being
politics.
political.
I think cops are dog shit. I think gangs are dog shit. I think the marshals, the entire organization is just max on crack. And I think everyone is a self-serving piece of shit in Los Santos. And So I got to get all the little
That-
kids to play and talk with each other instead of talking behind each other's backs and shit like that. But that's a massive fucking challenge. But I think you're one of the good ones, Nova. I'm gonna be honest.
I think
I think you're a bitch, Nova.
Yeah.
I know you do, Peters, and I
think
you're a
both
fucking
things are
egg.
true.
Yeah.
She's one of the
But-
good ones.
You have so
and
much
she's
potential,
also a
Peters.
bitch.
What have I done that you still
You have
haven't
so
answered
much
what I've
potential.
done?
You just existed.
Thank you. Yes, thank
I'll
you.
tell you what
Finally,
you do, Peters, is you
somebody
take on all the
acknowledged it.
world's problems on your
You're not
shoulders, right?
I'm stopping. I'm stopping. That's
Yeah.
why I'm checked out.
Delegation. What? No.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'll just reprogram later then.
I mean, it appears that obviously you have a lot of opinions, Nino. So why don't you speak to? Have you tried speaking to the director?
Yeah. She's a dumbass. So
Okay, well,
those
you know, that
conversations
is-
don't really go far. I've tried for about 2 months.
Mhm.
I've been lied to. I mean, it goes deep. I mean, that's between me and her, though. So,
Okay, that's fair enough, right? It's not my
Yeah.
business to
Yeah.
go in what your conversations are.
yeah.
Look, I come to this city and I came back and I had an objective and I'm slowly achieving that objective.
To become the next director.
No,
Come
absolutely
on.
not. No director, no chief of police, no assistant
Who am
chief
I
of
going to put in
police,
place
no,
when
thank you
I'm
very
the
much.
governor in a couple weeks?
Wait, did you hear about
Vic
that? by the way?
Hanna.
No.
What?
Vic,
No.
Vic.
Absolutely not.
No.
Vic is
If
already
you want to see
Vic'd
the
up.
city thrive and
Yeah.
go to places and you want to see an absolute hell of a storm, Vic Hanna, let me tell you.
Wait,
will
okay,
turn the
now
city
you
inside
explain
out.
that thought process.
Well, he's an
I
explosive
like
character.
Vic, but that's some cooked fucking thought process.
He's an explosive character, let me tell you. He's got leadership written all over his face.
Jesus fucking Christ. See, now you're refracting. You thought I was bad, Peters?
Controversy.
This fucking, you hear this? You hear this? What do you know about Vic?
What do I know about Vic?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him out on
That's
patrol. I've seen him lead scene.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen him
Jesus
drive.
fucking
I've seen him
Christ.
arrest people. He's controversial, but he's
Yeah.
funny.
He called me Barbie, and I haven't
that a-
forgotten about it.
Isn't that a compliment? Shouldn't that be a
Jesus
compliment?
Christ. You know what? I
No.
think Vic being the next Marshal might be the move. That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
Or the next, the next sheriff.
That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly think that you know,
That would cause a full-on meltdown.
so I'm guessing why approach me with these questions, right?
Well, I'll tell you right now is I definitely feel a certain way where shortly after an incident, Peter's health is not prioritized over what was going on, right? It leads me to have trust issues, right? Because when I'm surrounded by what I perceive as hyper self-serving individuals, you don't know who's in it for the right reasons, right? And no offense to you, Nova, right? But perception's
Okay.
everything, right?
Well, just like you know, meetings that, you know, let's say like the meeting that you just had then, where
Yeah.
let's say I am not privy to all the information of that meeting.
Mm.
I think it's unfair to come to that conclusion not knowing what meetings were had about the specific incident in question you may be referencing.
You're talking
But I
about the
can assure
LSI
you-
one?
I'm just saying that, you know, whatever meetings transpired, that
I mean, we can talk plainly.
well, I will be as plain as it can be. The
Yeah, it was
insinuation that Peter's well-being wasn't priority, I think, is very misconstrued without going into too
Yeah.
much.
I mean, the people that
It
took the
was.
statement didn't even call me. They didn't
Yeah.
even get a statement for me for almost 24. They didn't. It was
Yeah,
24 hours
and
before
this
they
is
even
it-
got a statement.
And this is on you, Nova. But mind you, it's 15 minutes after the incident. It went from Ventura to Nakota to you, right? He didn't get a how are you? Are you okay?
Well, Nova called me. She asked how I was
Yeah,
doing.
I know. That's where it ended. So
Right, so obviously I'm not going to
Mm.
comment on whatever
Mm.
active investigation may or may not be going on, right? Because that's inappropriate, especially with the potential victim here.
Yeah.
Right. But to insinuate that I mean our job specifically is to ensure the safety of yourself and high profile individuals, right? Obviously, I can't. If let's say as an example that shit did go south in your meeting, I had no idea you were there. How would it be? How would I justify, you not being protected, right? If I don't know your whereabouts, right?
You can call me, right?
I can, right? But
You
would you
know, is
really want
everything
a
okay?
nagging Nancy?
Everything all right?
Well, I think I've done that
I
once or
thought you
twice
and I
with
had a
Nancy
good
with you.
relationship, Nova.
We did.
We were gonna get
I don't-
drinks, and then you never called me.
Well, that's because I'm a very busy person. Okay, I've got a
I
very
think you wanted to
large
get
work
close
ethic.
to me to find out what I'm about.
I
And
think
I
that's
want that
I
to
think that's your
happen.
political.
So
I think
here's what
that's
I'm
your
thinking.
political mind.
Tomorrow
Yeah.
night, let's grab some drinks and get to know each other a little bit better. You can ask me anything.
Okay, I will. I will consider that.
Why consider? You can come on. I don't talk
I
to other
will- I-
marshals, right?
Okay, I will. I will consider it. But I feel like you're getting the impression that I would like to get to know you for snaking you out.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm gonna go back, right? Like
Mhm.
you calling me and Peters, never the concern about you, rather than the others, right? You got people like I look at it like this. These are the guys that put their life on the line next to this guy, and the first thing isn't how is he doing? It's more what is he doing wrong? And that's concerning. At the end of the day, no one wants fucking bloodshed in Los Santos, right? Believe it or not, I think most don't want that. I think they want to understand the whys and preventions to it, right? And
Well, I mean, to my knowledge, okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
but there has been no detective unit in this state for quite a while for whatever reasons.
no,
right?
there was, and then
Was
I
it?
helped this expose it, and they are all fired now.
Okay,
this
so
is
there was a detective
Riker,
unit, but it was fucking
Slacks,
awful. Okay.
and what was her name? Fucking Riker, Slacks. Shit.
Oh, Riker's lady, Maeve Wolf.
Maeve Wolf. Yeah. It turns out they didn't know that they couldn't look through SIM cards without permission. The CIB, their solution to the world was we need fast cars to increase morale. Fucking dumb piece of shit.
Well, look, as is entitled to every citizen of Los Santos, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Whether I think you're right or wrong on
But it's
any
not
of
an
these
opinion,
things
it's
isn't really
legal
relevant.
fact, right?
Well,
You
as
as
I
law
said-
enforcement can't just look through a SIM card. It was also that was the ruling of the courts.
right, but I don't know what specifically you're referencing at this point.
I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, it's up on the court docket. The entirety of the
Yeah.
detective unit looked through Tilly Winter's SIM card to see if she was doing anything illegal, and then
Okay.
post facto asked her for permission, and then tried to cover it up for it until it was exposed 2 months later. While the command around were aware of the situation, did no corrective measures, and some are still employed, having faced zero consequence or whatever. So
Yikes.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Poor
Okay,
girl
so-
lost a job too over it.
So let me throw some spice in because we all like spice, Mr. Chavez. Okay, let's
love
say
spice.
that you obviously disagree with the current hierarchy of the marshals. What would be your ideal outcome?
I think the ideal outcome is the conclusion of the Kale Soze case, in which he stood in court and exposed two justices who did not want to adhere to a constitution. I was there when it was discussed. And the fundamental fact was, it was like everything needs to come back to this constitution. All of that got reversed. Every little bit of it. Checks and balances. Anytime you have too much power in the hands of a organization or one, tyranny is begotten.
And you really you honestly feel like it's got to that point?
Yes. And in fact, you'd be surprised how much of the public thinks the same. Now, you could, and now it's a little difficult, right? I've got, you know, Peter's to my right, you in front of me, but you know,
So I guess, so hang on a minute. So if that's in the public's purview, my question would be, what have the marshals done to the public?
which bit?
So obviously you said that, you know, the purview of the marshals is marshals bad.
Oh no,
and
I'm talking
tyranny.
about this new construction of the DOJ and the marshals. Homogenous, like max on. I mean, how much are you familiar with the last couple months?
I have a brief knowledge of it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the DOJ and the marshals being under one hood? How do you keep that in check?
We are an executive. We are the branch
Executive,
of the judiciary.
Yeah. Well, it's executive when, you know, mayors are being ordered around. But like I said, I mean, things are in the works, right? But this is there's a lot to unpack here, right?
I think that obviously, you know, as the mayor of Los Santos, you are very political. You have the objective of speaking to the citizens and conveying their concerns in whatever way you deem appropriate, right? And if you have legitimate concerns, then there are legal avenues for you to express those concerns, which can be addressed by the justice system, right?
You want it? You were talking about spice. I mean, we're just talking openly, right?
Well, yeah, in a sense. And what you're saying is you are unhappy with.
I think the DOJ
marshals.
and the marshals should be their own entity, and their oversight over the independent county police departments is important. You need the ability for the police departments to be able to operate independently without having, you know, scuffed IA up their ass. In the same light as, you know, who watches the watcher? The DOJ and the fucking, you know, marshals being under one roof, like it just inherently is you know how tyrannical governments function. So
Well, here's
you know,
where I'm gonna just, if someone can bring me examples of martial misconduct, right, which proves the narrative that's being spun, then I'll buy it, right? But so far, it's the same thing about being in the cells of Mr.
What are you
St. Clair.
what about Daisy and stating cops are gonna get fired for looking at a public document?
I mean, I'm not purview to this or any of
Well,
this.
you are now.
Well, you know, I can inquire what actually happened from everybody and open an investigation into it and hand it to Director Angel, who will make a judgment on it, right?
And then how does the public know the outcome?
The public never really knows the outcomes of most investigations.
Why not?
I mean, why would they?
So-
why would this need to
So
be out there?
officers' jobs were threatened under false pretense, and they can't know what happened. Could have lost their jobs.
Well, again, as I said, it sounds like you have concerns that, you know, you need to raise with the director with respect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Marshall, you said you'd look into it, right? I'm. By the way, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just.
No,
You know,
I don't think you are.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it is. It's the same thing as if you know, you had a problem with a sergeant. You would have to give your findings, or they would have to give their findings to a lieutenant, and then express that thing. Right? There's always two sides to a coin. I can't just take what you say as gospel, even though
I
you
think
are
there
the
should
mayor.
be. I think those things should require some kind of public hearing. Because let's use like an example, right? Imagine, for example, right? Someone was selling information to another country, and then you you know, they decided to run for president, but the government was like, well, we're not going to tell you what the outcome of that investigation was. Just purely hypothetical.
I mean,
Like you understand what I'm saying now, right?
I do, but then that's the same as like, why don't we have jury service? Right?
No,
Why
that's
don't we have
different.
juries?
That's because Vinny Pistone couldn't keep his mouth shut.
But yeah, I feel like we should definitely probably do this tomorrow. This dinner, it might.
Let's talk about it
might
over
be
dinner. I like I like this conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's definitely
but
interesting.
think on it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think hearings are generally good because when the truth is put out, then everybody wins. And when judgment is made, all should hear.
Well,
because anytime something is behind closed doors, it's a very dangerous route, you know?
Well,
but
I'm
but
just
that's
gonna end
me
it on this.
philosophically.
I will tell you this, right? At the moment, for me personally, I have seen nothing in the directors or the field directors' conduct that makes me question anyway their integrity or loyalty to the state of San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
So until I am brought forward with any credible information otherwise, then, you know, there's no reason for me to suspect any ill doings. The same way as if someone came to me and said that, you know, Mr. Chavez is a corrupt piece of shit and a snake.
Who the fuck
I
said
wouldn't believe
that?
it.
Who the fuck said that, Nova? You see what I'm talking about? You see what I mean? It's a joke.
It's a hypothetical, yeah. I find you very pleasurable to talk to be honest. I've totally enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give me a call when you're free tomorrow, and we'll grab some drinks or whatever.
Do you know what? It's nice to have a mayor that's actually around, so I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a
that's
mayor
all you're gonna give me?
Nah,
well,
he was spitting straight facts earlier, Nova. You know it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're approachable. I can call you at any time. All that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm believe it or not.
You're not high maintenance. You're not high maintenance,
No.
mayor. You don't ask for support every 5 minutes. You're not under attack.
No, I know. You'd be surprised. I'm pretty transparent about everything. I think, including those I like and don't like. But you know.
Okay. Well, we'll let you get out of here because I've got to take Olive back to the station. But yeah, we'll call you tomorrow after the meeting.
All right. Sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. You take care.
All right, Peters. Don't do nothing too crazy now, okay?
Yep.
I'm not. Olive, I'm Tyler Peters, by the way. I don't know if we've met before. It was good meeting you, though.
Hi, I'm Olive. Like a snack.
Okay. Did you hear about the two olives that got stuck on the table?
Okay, Peters, you should
What?
Yeah, this is crazy. One of them, they were running, right? Two olives come to life, and they're like, oh my god.
Wait, did they have like stick arms and legs, or were they like more olive flesh?
No, it was like stick arms and legs, and then
what I pictured.
And then what happened is like they found a pea and decided to try to play soccer with it, and as they were running around,
that was a good conversation. I like Nova.
Rolled, you know.
I love
rolled off the side
RP
of the
conversations
table.
like that.
Over. He goes, "Hey, are you all right?"
But Nino is definitely dickish there a little bit. But he's kind of like,
Olive!
I don't know if I can trust you.
What?